Now I'll invite Mr. Raja Christopher from CIM to give the closing, summing up and closing comments. Yeah. Raja?
During our last webinar, our resource person, Dr. Gary, wanted us to do the summing up of the entire session in one word. If I had to do it for today's session, I would say crisis is encouragement for the missions. I'm just summing up what Mr. Anand said about love and discipleship during crisis time, quoting Matthew 22. We need to do the work of transformation, not sustaining and existence. That is not the question. So that's how Mr. Anand opened this session. Moving on to Dr. Jaykumar, in his first session, the 7 leadership attitudes. I'm picking up some of the important things. The 7 things will be there available for you. Never let never let a good crisis go to worse. See, the Churchill's quote. We need to be reminded of that. The striking point is we need to switch off the autopilot mode. That is very important. Idolatry of money is very much seen among mission organizations. That has to be stopped. Opportunities in crisis, we need to be in a position to look out for that. We need to be stubborn about our vision. That's one thing that Dr. Jaykumar was underlining. Define higher standards of performance. That is another challenge that he was throwing to all the leaders. Crisis creates material for second line leadership. It is giving an opportunity. We need to find out the emerging second line leadership. That was another thing. The next thing that he was emphasizing was on communication during the crisis period, how it is important, how we have got to engage with communicating all the stakeholders around. Look out for new partnerships. That was another point that Dr. Jaykumar was underlining. We need to look out for new partnerships, government and other similar mission organizations. Our dependence on God is the way of life. We need to move towards more dependence on God. That was one that was suggested by Dr. Jaykumar. Define our new normal. We need to know what is going to be our new normal. Instead of expecting to go back to our old normal, we need to define what's going to be our new normal. Coming back to Dale, it was a very handy tool that Dale was explaining to us, starting from defining more precisely what our mission and vision statements are, who are our stakeholders, doing an environmental analysis, environmental scan in the way of PESTLE, an internal analysis with the 4 Ps. Those things Dr. Dale was explaining. Can we do something different that will no longer be a constraint? That was one challenge that Dale was throwing open to the leaders. That was good. So I just want to remind that vulnerability is not a disruption. So that is another challenge that Dale was giving to the leaders. We were called to list what all vulnerable to us. So an exhaustive list of vulnerability for each organization has to be listed. That was one clue that Dale was giving us. And followed by that, Dale wanted us to find out how we will be in a position to respond. There are 2 assurance that Dale gave. Don't overcomplicate. So he was again and again telling that. So that's one assurance. We don't have to overcomplicate what is done. Then we need to maintain absolute flexibility, right? those two assurances Dale was giving us. He was also suggesting that we need to give good awareness to our donors, which was underlined by Dr. Jaykumar in his next area also. Coming to Dr. Jaykumar's second presentation on crisis and faith, taking out the Nehemiah's example, the four things that he told us: bring God into the situation. So intentionally, we need to bring God into the situation. That's one. Two is we need to pursue our work with excellence, persuade our work with excellence. Third is involving everyone, all connected people, all the stakeholders. And fourth is very important. It is most important is the looking at the big picture, the vision of the organization. So by all these things, we are having a greater assurance that crisis is not there to disturb us. It is there as an assurance, a reminder for each one of us to go back to the Lord. Thank you.